Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Unbettable. I'm Mondo here with Gare and Holmes. And on today's episode, we got a pack one for you. We know it's Wednesday, but guess what? It doesn't matter. We still got shit. We got Thursday night football. We're going to spin the wheel today. Get a couple random bets up. They hit, they hit. If not, the wheel's going to be 0 for 6. So we'll see what happens. We also got a lot of NBA to cover. Hart's going to take a little college football preview for this weekend. We're gonna review some Chell picks that I think both boys made yesterday. And I think the biggest story is actually we'll get to that in a second. We're gonna do a Halloween movie draft too. But yeah, the biggest story of the day. I want Gary's thoughts first. Gary, what do you think of Dwight Howard's situation?
See, it's funny that you asked me, and I should have looked it up on Twitter whenever I saw he was trending. But to keep it a buck, I've never been a big basketball guy. Um, I watch it casually here and there, but here, let's get Gary's live reaction to the Dwight Howard drama.
Okay, I want your full analysis. Personally, I think this will help a lot with his on-ball defense if he comes back to the NBA.
Jesus.
So we'll see what happens there. He's definitely dirty in the paint. We know that. You're not afraid to take a couple shots here and there. So,
Oh,
take care.
wow. So going on Twitter, the first two things when I type in D, I see Dwight Howard and then I see Dwight Howard gay. So then I click on both of them and it's a bunch of gifs. So then I take it to the interwebs and I look it up. First headline I see, Dwight Howard denies sexually assaulting man in bombshell lawsuit. Claims it was consensual encounter. Wow. That's crazy. I mean, that's a big one because I mean, from my understanding, Dwight Howard has a pretty, extensive NBA career, pretty good reputation when it comes to basketball wise. But as I'm reading through this, apparently it happened July 2021 in Georgia with a man that goes by the name of Stephen Harper. Um, yeah. Is Dwight Howard the one that has the trans son or daughter?
No, that's D Wade.
Oh, okay.
You're close. I'll give you that. It was close. DW. You're right there. Um,
Um,
I heard Dwight Howard was one of the best rookie hazers in the NBA. So
Fair.
not too sure if that played into it at all, but that's just a rumor that's been going on Twitter. So
some elephant walks from Dwight Howard.
I don't know. We'll see. Not trying to get canceled, but I don't know. Allegedly. Yeah, let's not get canceled. Let's, I guess, stay with the NBA. A couple matchups last night. You had Nugs and Lakers and Warriors and the Suns. So, Holmes, I know you put down a couple bets. What were you thinking?
I actually didn't have anything NBA wise, but last night definitely some good games. Lakers, bro. Lakers got shit on. Lakers had the chant going at the end of the Denver game in Denver. They're saying, "Who's your daddy?" That was crazy, bro. They were letting the Lakers have it. Nugs just picked up right where they left off, man. They're too good. Jokic just dropped his
Just
first triple double
nasty.
this season. Won't be the last, that's for sure. Um, so I mean, Nugs keep rolling. Obviously, show why they're defending champions. And then Suns and Warriors game was pretty awesome to watch. I mean, Warriors come out of the half of 40 points in the third quarter. I think to the Suns like 16 or something. That was a wild game to watch. Have them come back, but surprisingly very shitty from the 3-point line. I think it was a very poor 3-point shooting game. But I guess it's to be expected from the first game of the NBA season. All the kinks will get figured out. But actually, this is crazy. Fliff, the app that I bet on, they had a super boost last night, plus 100 if Steph Curry made a three. Bro, in case you heard me incorrectly, yes, Steph Curry hit one singular 3-pointer. It's plus 100. That was ridiculous. I've never seen
What?
anything that was so free in my entire life. Instant chance to double your money. I mean, I was watching the game Took him all of 45 seconds to score the first 3 of the game.
I would have put
Couldn't
more
believe
money on that.
Yeah, the bank account definitely would have been emptied. 100%.
Yeah, it has to be.
Oh my luck,
This
he
is
fucking break
ridiculous.
his ankle 20 seconds after I place it.
That was going to be the real heartbreaker. If some injury happened and somehow I got fucked out of that, I would have probably quit betting forever.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers 2.0 type beat.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I think you know, as I was saying, I'm not a big basketball guy, but I did watch the last quarter of the Warriors and the Suns, and I felt like I was watching a playoff game. Like, I don't know, I don't know what it was. I mean, whether it was like, you know, kind of the Chris Paul like revenge, like, you know, since he's playing against his old team at the first game of the season. But it was like exciting, you know, it wasn't a blowout by any means. Kind of halfway through, it was a little shaky. And I thought about, you know, putting 10 on Warriors money line, which I'm glad I didn't because I lost enough money last night on baseball. That's another story.
Get
It was
that.
exciting game to watch.
Nice, Gare.
Nice.
You guys have any bets tonight? Tonight, I feel like is the real opening night of the NBA. This is where everyone else matches up. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming you guys have a couple plays tonight. At least you do, Holmes.
Totally. Yeah, I'll get into a couple. I'm definitely first one I'm going with is Timberwolves on the money line. This should not be a pick 'em. This game is literally a pick 'em in Toronto. Raptors are ass, dude. Raptors are literally not good. I mean, Scotty, we were talking about it before we even got on the
Yeah.
podcast. Like, I don't know who alongside Scotty Barnes is going to do anything for that team. I feel like Pascal Siakam is going to be a trade candidate halfway through the season. I would much rather bet on Cat and Gobert here, even on the road. This is also the first game for the Raptors without Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse is the 76ers coach now. So I actually don't even know the name of the new coach up there in Toronto, but whoever it is, they're going to take some time to get adjusted and have to figure out that young roster. So I'll definitely take Minnesota here. Minus 105 right now. I think that's tremendously great value you can get on them. I'm going to take the Thunder plus 2.5 on the road against the Bulls. Kind of the same thing here for me a little bit. I really don't think the Bulls are that good. They have the talent, but they, for some reason, cannot put it together. Levine, DeRozan, Vucevic, that should be an absolutely fire core. And for some reason, they continuously fall short of expectations. And the Thunder, boy, all the young pieces are coming together. They got draft picks for years. Dude, I like the Thunder this year for sure.
Oh,
so
yeah.
if they're giving me 2.5, I'll take it tonight on opening night because I think they're going to look good. Chet, first game in the NBA. That's gonna be fun to watch. I am definitely going to take the Magic on the money line just because I am a homer. I lived in Orlando the last 2 years. I think the Magic are going to be pretty good this year at home against the Rockets. Not a good team. We're just going to go Magic there, not even think about it. And then I am going to take a prop on the unicorn, Victor Wembanyama. There is no way his rebound prop should be at 6.5 right now. I don't believe that whatsoever. Over for minus 115. Like, I think that's a no-brainer as well. That guy is taller than everybody on the court by 2 heads. There's no way. I don't think that guy is getting under 6 boards tonight. So we're going over 6.5 for Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, I mean, those all sound like surefire locks. I can't believe the Wembanyama prop's that low.
That
He's
doesn't
the
make any
tallest
sense.
man in the NBA. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just insane. I get that he has, you know, a really skinny frame, but it doesn't matter, man. He doesn't even have to jump for a rebound at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess let's address it. We all went 0 for 3 on the Phillies game. So
Yeah, that's tough.
that was brutal. Everything was not okay. It was all in the shitter for the Phillies. Congrats to the D-backs though. I mean, 84 wins and now they're in the World Series. You got to give it to them. Them and the Rangers. It's going to be a battle. It obviously is not as exciting. But when you look at, you know, like 2 years ago, both these teams were 100 loss teams. So it's just another selling point that anything can happen in baseball and you're never truly out of it. I mean, shit, even the O's, they got knocked out early, but they went from 100 loss to 100 win. So baseball's getting exciting. You got a lot of young talent taking the field over the next couple days. But I'm pretty excited, man. I'm gonna take the Rangers in this just because I don't know. I feel like a couple of those guys have been there before. They know what it takes, and that's pretty much all you need when you're in the playoffs. So I'll throw it to whoever wants to take it next.
Yeah, I guess I'll speak on it. Yeah, I lost some money last night. You know, it was fucked from the very beginning. If you watched the Bar and Boys podcast, which you should, you had my live reaction
Yep.
of me like throwing my hands in the air. Because I had a parlay going. I had it tied after the first inning, which essentially is kind of betting on a nerfy, which was kind of stupid for a playoff game now that I look back at it. But it was very low scoring. I remember my projection last night was 11-8, which I understand is astronomically high. But I thought it was going to be a game full of like piss missiles, and it really wasn't. Honestly, I'm just kind of disappointed. I mean, I feel like, Castellanos, I mean, you had Obi. Obi died yesterday. Oldest dog in the world, Beef was telling me. He's 31-year-old dog. That should have been a lock. Castellanos should have been hitting the dinger. Said he went 0 for 19. He was 0 for 19 at plate appearances. Can you believe that? Like, I couldn't. It was just, that's crazy. Like,
Really?
I don't know. I just feel like you can't put it all on the backs of Schwarber, Trey, and Harper to always save you. And then the Diamondbacks bullpen was just dicing them up. I mean, Gankful, I remember me and the boys were watching that last night, and we could not stop laughing about this fucker's last name, but he was cooking. I mean, you couldn't stop him. Thank God the Phillies didn't put out Kimbrel, because then it would have just been even worse than it already was. But that's another topic of discussion. But I don't know. I hope the MLB is happy that, now they're going to have, the lowest rated World Series ever. Rangers are going to sweep the Diamondbacks, I hope. Diamondbacks caused me a lot of loss. So fuck them.
Well, I will give you a little insight, Gare. See, back in the day, there was this pitcher named Randy Johnson.
I know who Randy Johnson is.
He struck a bird with the baseball, and the D-backs won the World Series that year. Smoked the Yankees. Embarrassed them. Let me tell you this. The ace of this team, Zach Gallen, he hit a bird during long toss this year. Sure as shit, the backs are now in the World Series. So I'm not saying that they're team of destiny, but I mean, these are the bird killers out here, man. They are ready to go. So Holmes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I thought the Phillies were a team of destiny. That went straight down the toilet. Hats off to the Diamondbacks, man. You come back to Citizens Bank Park and you win 2 straight games in probably the toughest environment in baseball right now, with how crazy those fans are out there. Good for them, man. You gotta give them some props, and I'm honestly gonna be rooting for him at this point. I want Longo to get a ring. Longo's been grinding ever since he was in the World Series with the Rays back in 2008. Finally conquered the Phillies, so it's time to get the Rangers under your belt and get a World Series ring. That would be very, very hype for Longo. So I'm going to be in on the Diamondbacks for this series for sure.
All right.
Wow.
Gary, you give a pick? I don't remember.
After hearing those two pieces of information, I feel like, as much as you and I, Mondo, get cut up by Randy on MLB The Show, I feel like I got to go. I'm going to take the D-backs.
D-backs?
Yeah. Love it.
All right. So that's going to do it for the MLB NBA portion. We're going to take a quick break, get a little ad read in here from Mr. Gary Gowdy. And then we will come back Thursday Night Football and spin the wheel. So we will see you in just a second.
What's up, everybody? It is your boy Gary here with the Unbettable podcast, and I'm here to talk to you today about Lock Spread. Now, Lock Spread is comparable to your favorite player prop pick sites such as Prize Picks, except it's more catered to people our audience, catered to the teams we like, catered to the college teams we like, got baseball in there, golf, every sport you can think of. But I just want to tell you guys a little bit more about the promos that we have going on right now on the site. Just to let you know, the mobile app did just launch, which is huge, making it a lot easier for you to place those last minute picks. So the promos we got going on right now, we are matching every deposit up to $100, essentially doubling your money, giving you more to play with, more time to explore the site. Also, whenever you first sign up for the app, you will get a $5 credit. This essentially gives you some money to play with, see if you really like the site, see if it's something you could see yourself using in the future. Also, tonight, I don't know when the podcast is going up, but we got a free square up tonight for Jimmy G over half a passing yard. It's free. And you can expect more free squares like that. We have at least 2 to 3 every week. So make sure you click the link here, and it'll take you to my referral code, sign up through there, and we'll get you rolling. Hope you guys make some money. Make sure you check out Lock Spread. Thank you.
And we are back. Thank you very much to Gary Gowdy for promoting that pyramid scheme. Thanks, Scare. Great business you used to work with. We will no longer be having their ad reads in here, but that was the final one we will do. As you can see in front of us, it is the wheel of Thursday night bets. Here we go. We have the Bucks Bills tonight. We have a shit ton of random bets just tossed up into a list. And we will spin. So who would like to try their luck first on the wheel?
I want to go.
Gary wants to go. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Gowdy. Let's see what happens. Who's he going to get?
No touchdowns.
Oh, there you go. That's an easy one, man. Mike Evans' first touchdown? That's not too bad at all.
We'll work.
All right, Holmes, you up?
Let's do it.
All right, Henny Holmes. Who's he going to get? Let's find out. We're spinning around, and we are looking at Dalton Kincaid over 43.5 receiving yards tonight. Not going to be as
know,
easy,
bro.
but it'll
Yes,
be
sir.
interesting.
Yes, sir.
All right, now it's time for me to round it out. Who am I going to get? Nobody knows. Round and round it goes. This is a fair.
No touchdowns scored.
And you bet your ass I'm cheering for the Bills' longest field goal of the night. So let's go Bills kicker. I don't remember who you are, but you're kicking a long one today. That was the wheel of bets. Gary, get ready to tweet them out when we talk about the rest of our bets, okay? Cool. In real talk though, tonight's Bucks Bills, pretty one-sided matchup. I know the Bills are coming off a pretty bad loss, but you know, the Bucks don't really have that power to stay afloat. I know you guys kind of agree with your takes on Baker Mayfield, but I'm just going to go favorites tonight. I'm going to take the Bills money line. I need a little bit of money back in my pocket in order to bet this weekend. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to take 2 anytime touchdowns. I'm going to do Mike Evans and Stephon Diggs, both fantasy players on my team. So I might as well cheer for them this game. But other than that, I really don't have another bet. I'm just trying to get a little bit of cash under me so I can go big this weekend with a bunch of bets, especially with that Florida-Georgia game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Get hurt. But yeah, those are my bets tonight. That's what I'm going to take. Send it over to Mr. Henny Holmes. What are we thinking here, kid?
I don't know if I want to take a side on this. I mean, as much as I want to take the Bucks, I don't know if I can bet on them to cover right now. Especially in Buffalo. Buffalo just coming off of a horrible loss against the Patriots. You got to think that they're looking to prove something here at home, and they got to get a get-right win. So I think I'm just going to ride some props tonight. Not tonight, for tomorrow night. First one I'm definitely going to go with Rachaad White over 21.5 receiving yards. For me, he's hit this in 4 out of his 6 games, and especially watching last game against the Falcons, Baker Mayfield is targeting him a lot more out of the backfield, and he's also a lot more efficient as a pass catcher than a rusher. The offensive line just isn't quite holding up really well in the run game and doesn't have a lot of that straight line explosiveness to help him break a lot of long runs. So he's definitely utilized out in the flat more. Baker Mayfield's looking for him if Mike and Chris aren't open downfield. So I like taking that 21.5 right there for Rashad White. It's funny that you talk about Dalton Kincaid, bro, because I am definitely going to hop on his receiving yards too. But he's at 39.5 on my app right now for minus 120. I think that's pretty great value. I think last week was a little bit of a breakout week without Dawson Knox. Got targeted a ton with Josh Allen. And the Bucs, as decent as their secondary has actually been this year at shutting down wide receivers, tight ends is where they are vulnerable. Especially last week, Kyle Pitts had a pretty decent game, especially late against the Buccaneers. They couldn't really contain him as well as they could the other receivers. So I am going to like Dalton Kincaid to keep it up here and go over 39.5 yards. And then the last prop, I will take Josh Allen to throw a pick. He is at minus 105. I love me some primetime picks. I think Baker Mayfield is a little too obvious for minus 150. I don't really love the juice on that. But Josh Allen's been a turnover machine, man. Like this guy throws interceptions more than it gets talked about. Like he does not get, I don't think. Yeah, I guess it just doesn't get talked about enough as it should.
I got
This guy turns the ball over a lot, so I'm going to take him to throw a pick.
Most turnovers in the NFL since 2018, Mr. Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say that's a pretty safe bet to me. Gary,
What?
what's your bets?
No, it's fine. The day of reckoning is tomorrow. For Mr. Baker Mayfield. I have said it 2 weeks in a row now. So, with that in mind, and also what I've been saying for 2 weeks, I say it every time we talk about the Bills. The Bills only play as good as their opponent. So for that reason, I'm going to be taking under 43.5 points scored. The Bucs are not a very high-scoring team. With this logic I have with the Bills, I don't think this is going to be a very high-scoring game. I also think that most of the Thursday night games are relatively low-scoring. I think this is like the first, I don't want to say the first decent matchup we've seen Thursday night, but this is definitely one of the better ones. But for that reason, I'm taking the under. I'm going to take a Mike Evans touchdown. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a lock, but I think he's due. And then I'm going to take, even though Holmes said, minus 150 is not a very good look, which it isn't. I'm going to take the Baker Mayfield interception. Give me Kyle Trask, please.
Yeah, roll the juice on that.
Oh boy. Yeah, those Thursday night picks. Gary will tweet them out tomorrow. Yeah, there's not much else to do. So you guys want to hop in this draft real quick?
Yeah, let me recap some NHL before we do that from last night.
Yeah, get after it.
Because we did put some NHL picks out there. Gary, did you have any picks last night, or was it just me on the Twitter?
Oh, it was just you.
Just me? All right. Last night went pretty well, honestly, for the Frozen Frenzy. All teams were playing in the NHL last night, 16 different games. It was wild. I got to catch a good amount of it, and it was a lot of fun to watch. There was so much action that happened last night. Only bet we didn't hit, we put 5 bets out. Lightning and Hurricanes over 6.5. That's honestly going to be a system play for me this year. Until Vasilevsky comes back for the Lightning, I don't have a lot of faith in Johansson. He is definitely going to be giving up more goals than Vasilevsky, and he has been so far. Hurricanes are a nice scoring team as well. They've been a very big team to the over just so far this year. So tough one that didn't come in, but good win for the Lightning. Good 3-0 shutout there. But the Oilers and Wild over 6.5, that came in pretty easily. That was a 7-4 game. The Oilers have no goaltending. They have no idea what the hell they're doing goaltending wise, and they can still score. McDavid is that guy. Leon Draisaitl is also that guy. So they're very high powered on offense, but they are very poor goaltending wise. So that's an easy over there. Bruins minus 1.5 on the puck line. Capitals just a bad team. We were strictly fading a bad team right there, and the Bruins have looked fantastic so far this season, pretty much picking up their regular season success from last year and kind of carrying it into this year so far. Maple Leafs money line. Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I said Bruins beat the Capitals. That was completely wrong. Bruins beat the Blackhawks. My bad there. Same logic, fading a bad team. Bruins betting on a good team. Maple Leafs money line. they beat the Capitals. Capitals are a very shitty team. Maple Leafs, there's way too much value on the money line right there, I think, to pass it off. Maple Leafs are out to a hot start of the season. Capitals are faltering at 1-3-1. And then Austin Matthews over 1.5 points. Come on, I thought this was a lock of the night. This guy has I think 7 goals in 6 games so far. He has been on fire. Goal and an assist last night. You can cash that up. That man is going to be a serious contender for NHL MVP this year. He is a monster.
Holmes, I got a question for you.
What's up?
Do you think it's too early to take a future on the Vegas Knights getting a repeat in the Stanley Cup? As of now, they're 7-0. They're rolling.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't think it's the craziest thing in the world. I think they're an incredibly talented team, and they've come up short so much. I think that they were bound to win the cup, and I think last year was indicative of, I think, all the hard work that they've put in since they've gotten into the league and been that expansion team. I don't think it's a bad bet, really. 7-0 can. The thing for me is you can do so well in the regular season, but the playoffs are such a different animal. It's not very likely that the best team in the regular season is the best team in the playoffs, especially the past few years. We've seen it. You get the most points, you get the most wins in the regular season. You're almost one of the first ones out of the playoffs almost every year. It's kind of crazy to watch. But they're just so well put together. I don't think it's crazy at all to put a future on them. You just have to know that there are a lot of other good teams right now that they're going to be fighting with. And I mean, you're a better man than I really hate placing futures bets because I cannot wait that long to see a bet fail or see a bet cash. So you're a stronger man than I, but I don't think it's a bad play at all. If you feel it in your heart, I would say go for it.
Something to think about.
There you go.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a little futures episode.
Yeah, dude. That would be fun to do.
Ooh, spooky. All right. Garrett, this is your idea. You called us on the way home. You said you wanted to do a draft tonight to come up with the segment. I guess my main question is, one, are you making a graphic to tweet it out and put it on socials? And two, what is this, a horror movie draft, or is this a Halloween movie draft? Because there's a big difference. What are we thinking?
So I'm a big Halloween/horror movie guy. If I sit down and watch a movie, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a scary movie. It's just what I like. But I think that, yes, I'll make a graphic for it, since you have to ask me about our business inciting on the pod. And then 2, I think that it could just be a scary movie. I think that, if the movie gives you, a spike in the blood pressure, a little sweat in the palms, I think it qualifies.
Okay.
Or it can be a classic Halloween movie. I mean, it's up to you. But I'm probably going to go horror movies.
Okay. Holmes, you on board with this?
Yeah, man. Let's bang it out.
All right, cool. What do we want the order to be?
I don't care.
Okay. We'll put Gary in the 2. Holmes,
Okay.
you can go 1. I'll go 3. Oh, I thought you didn't care, Gary.
I just gave a suggestion.
What?
Tallest person goes first.
Tallest?
Yeah.
That'd be me.
What?
Gary, you're in the 2 hole. Until you
Okay.
get me my clips, you're in the 2 hole.
Yeah.
Holmes, lead it off.
Computer in 7 hours.
All right. I'm not a super big scary movie guy, so I'll mainly go the Halloween movie route, but I gotta go number 1 overall. This is actually my grandmother's favorite movie character of all time, The Nightmare Before Christmas. She absolutely loves Skeleton Jack. So that is going to be my first pick. That goes out to her as a great movie, great Tim Burton animation there. Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's a good one. How many picks
Fair.
are we doing?
Let's just do 4.
Oh, 4. Can we do 5?
Fine, Gary. Let's do 5 picks. Make sure you write them down.
Okay. So my first pick, I'm gonna go with a movie that I saw last year, that genuinely was one of the most unsettling movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Hereditary. Hereditary, produced by A12 Films. I don't even know. It's spooky. It's not like a bunch of jump scares. But watching a girl stick her head out of a car window and getting it lopped off by a telephone pole, um, that was pretty intense. So I'm gonna go Hereditary for my first pick.
Okay. My first 2 pretty obvious ones. I'm gonna go Exorcist and The Conjuring. The Exorcist is scary to me because I watched it when I was a little kid, and I'm terrified of it ever since. It's not really that scary anymore to me. But back when I was growing up, man, I couldn't watch it again. It took me like 10 years to watch it. And The Conjuring, it's just a classic horror movie. Absolute banger. If you haven't watched it, like that whole series of films, you can't go wrong. Top tier. So I'll send it back to Gare.
In 2 seconds, I'm just writing these down real quick. So my next pick is gonna be a little less on the horror side and more on the classic side. I'm gonna go Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is
Nice.
another Tim Burton film, but it's actually live action. It's a very solid older movie, pretty quirky, different, like Tim Burton is. So I think that's a good one.
That is a good one. I love that pick. That was going to be definitely, I think, one of my next 2. I'm going to go with a scarier one here. I was dragged to the movie theater as a kid by one of my friends to see this Insidious. Dude, that scared the
That's
shit out of me when I was
fucking
younger.
horrible.
That was probably the moment that I was like, yeah, horror movies are not for me, bro. This is definitely not what I enjoy. Dude, I not a fan. Not a fan. That's all I'll say. Not a fan. Um, and then honestly, classic. Some can say that it's made for children, but others will say that it's a classic and it's a banger. The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown is a banger. And if you don't know about Charlie Brown and the Peanuts gang, bro, you got other problems. I was all into that as a kid. I will still watch it for the nostalgia every year. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Well done, Holmes. I like
Thank
those
you.
picks.
Thank you.
Gare?
I'm gonna flip it back to the horror side of things. One of the more gory movies I've seen in my time. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Texas Chainsaw has a lot of different variations nowadays. I think they've remade it 3 times now. But the original one, for the time period in which it was made in, I think really pushed the boundaries of what people perceived as horror and gore. And yeah, so I'm gonna go Texas Chainsaw.
Nice. I mean, wouldn't be a Halloween movie draft without Halloween, right? Little Michael Myers franchise action.
Has to.
I'm just gonna take Halloween. I feel like that's a safe lock,
Has
and
to be.
I'm gonna flip it right around to also one of the best actual Halloween movies of all time, and that's Hocus Pocus.
Nice.
Absolute banger of a movie. If you haven't watched it, it means you haven't gotten a girlfriend or you don't have sisters. So Hocus Pocus is a top tier movie, arguably the best Halloween movie around. Shocked it was still on the board in the 4th round of a Halloween movie draft, but here we are. We're taking it. So, Gary, back to you.
First of all, I want to say I hate Hocus Pocus because I do have 2 little sisters and I've seen it more times than I want to admit to. That maybe just makes me cringe. So many good movies. Fuck. I'm stumped. I'm genuinely stumped. Um, Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and take Jeepers Creepers. This movie is one that's kind of a meme, but genuinely terrified me when I saw it at like the age of like 9 or 10. If you don't know what Jeepers Creepers is, it's like this weird moth-looking guy, that fucks these kids up on a school bus. And it's pretty violent. And every single time I was walking to the school bus after I saw that, I wanted to go back home. So Jeepers Creepers.
Very nice. Holmes?
All right. I'm gonna go with classic right here. The Haunted Mansion. Dude, I don't know how this was still on the board. Like Eddie Murphy, classic movie. If you ride the ride at Disney, like fire. I rock with the Haunted Mansion. That was a good movie that I liked as a kid. And then, man, if I were to have to wrap it up, I'll probably wrap it up with a pretty gory movie, Saw. My girlfriend has been literally trying to get me to watch Saw with her for years. I will not do it. Just yeah, I'm not gonna bring myself to that type of torture. But Saw franchise, you can't leave it off.
All right, Gary. Last pick for you.
My last pick. I don't know if you want to call it a Halloween movie. Or I mean it's definitely not a horror movie, but I feel like it fits the Halloween theme. I'm gonna go Edward Scissorhands.
Nice.
It's not necessarily related around Halloween, but I think that movie like it has like a deeper meaning than Johnny Depp walking around looking like a weirdo. So I'm gonna go Edward Scissorhands.
It's not bad.
Nice.
I'm gonna wrap this one up. This is one that when I was living in the fraternity house, we had probably 30 like different people in my bedroom when we were doing a Halloween movie marathon. We put on Sinister. And we were joking around at first and shooting the shit through the beginning.
No, that's
But
no
as
joke.
it went on, people got quieter and quieter and quieter to the point where after this movie, everyone was shook. No, like everyone was uncomfortable, freaked out. If you haven't watched Sinister, you need to watch it. It is scary. It is like it's like that real life kind of terrifying movie that just embeds itself in you. And when you have 30 people that shook who just enjoy fucking around, that's an easy mention to be on my top 5. So Sinister's gonna round out the draft here. But
Nice.
yeah, that movie is crazy.
The little kids, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, it's insanity. But yeah, that's the draft. Gary, you want to read them back to us real quick?
Yes. I didn't write it down. No, it was fine. I did. So we got Mondo's from his first pick to his fifth pick, all in order. He has The Exorcist, he has Conjuring, he has Halloween, he has Hocus Pocus, and then to finish it off, he has Sinister. Penny Holmes, Nightmare Before Christmas, Insidious, The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, The Haunted Mansion, and Saw. Gary, Hereditary, Beetlejuice, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Jeepers Creepers, and Edward Scissorhands.
Nice.
That's solid. Do we have any honorable mentions? Holmes?
None for me.
Gare?
God. Final Destination. I
Not
feel
bad.
like Final Destination has a good paranoia movie. Makes simple things look deadly.
Yeah. No, that's good. Mine was probably Monster House. That was a big one when we were all kids.
Oh yeah.
With Steve Buscemi.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, that would probably be my number 6, but it's right up there. This was like 5-10 years ago, probably would have cracked the top 5, but
Mhm.
Wow.
that was one. And then as far as like an uncomfortable movie, Midsummer. That
Oh,
one made me uncomfortable, but not scared. It's just like this is fucking horrible.
sipping on period blood. That's interesting.
Yeah, just fucking weird. Didn't like it at all. Jeep made me waste money going into the theater to watch that. So still kind of have beef with him over that and pissed me off. But yeah, that's the draft. That's gonna be the episode too. We're gonna round it out here. We'll see you guys on it will be Saturday morning. We'll record Friday. Gary will wake up early Saturday morning and tweet out the picks this time. He will be on top of it. He already promised us that.
Nice.
So yeah, with that, thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, share with everyone you know. It really helps the channel. We really want to build this up. I was talking about it on Barroom Boys yesterday, but this is a passion project that we really want to develop and market and make into something really cool. And we just need help sharing it with people. So if you can do that, that would be awesome. You'd really be doing us a favor. And yeah, that's all we can really ask for you. So with that, we will see you guys on the next episode. Peace.
See you.